So anyway, Mike Righteous.
Fuck. Michael Righteous, fam.
I got a timeline.
Mike Reckless.
Mike Reckless, yeah. I got a timeline still. But my timeline means I'm going to probably talk for a minute.
No.
So,
Let's talk for a minute, man.
okay.
Where do you want to start?
Almost at the beginning.
So that,
We was here. I was here.
so we're done when you wrote the tweets.
Yeah, when you wrote
What's the
tweets,
beginning
'cause
for
you
you
read
when-
them.
Did I read them?
You didn't read them, but you said something about Mike Righteous is like suicidal or something. I remember I was sitting there. And
You wasn't sitting here.
I was sitting here. I was sitting there.
Oh,
You were
this is
standing
when we
here.
weren't recording.
We weren't recording.
Okay,
No,
alright,
no,
cool,
we
yeah.
weren't recording. And then you mentioned, he's tweeting something or whatever. Then I've obviously heard about his tweets or whatever,
Yeah.
and I've seen like a lot of concern for him. So
Mm-hmm.
I was concerned, but I don't know him like that. But I know
neither.
that it's difficult for a lot of people out here. Blah 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 blah.
Well, yeah. So when I saw them tweets, there was a couple tweets that I don't follow Mike Righteous.
Neither do I.
But something like that is gonna come on your timeline.
Of
Then
course.
people are talking about that. So like even a couple of weeks ago, I tweeted something about Mike Righteous. I was like, all this time AJ Tracy has left Mike on read because of their diss. I was like, LOL, 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 lol. But then I saw this shit. I was like, bruv, this ain't even funny, innit? Like, this is something else. This ain't no industry banter. This ain't beef or whatever. This is like someone who's talking about taking their life. So, and there was a couple of tweets leading up to that day when he was talking about, have you ever thought about losing have you ever thought about just giving it all up or whatever? And they were quite depressing tweets.
They were
Proper depressing. So anyway,
They were like alarming.
alarming, yeah. That, like, when you see a tweet like that, it's like, yo, bro, you're right. You call someone up like that. And then the tweets on that day where it was like my man said goodbye, yeah, bro, that was it. Like, when I saw those tweets, yeah, bro, all of a sudden, like, everything, I was in the office, innit? I just turned hella anxious, fam. I was like, raw. Like, someone like Mike, because I'm not a big fan of Mike Righteous.
No, neither.
But Mike is someone that, like, we all know about.
Of course.
And we have...
And I have respect for.
Yeah, you have respect for
Mike
and you
Righteous,
probably
'cause-
have been a fan of him at some point.
Not really. I'm not gonna do that. Like, I'm not gonna be a person who's gonna come up. Like, if someone dies, I'm never gonna come up here and say that I was their biggest fan or anything like that.
No.
But I've never not. But by me saying that I wasn't his biggest fan isn't me saying I didn't rate him. Or I didn't like him. I just never really, like, if a video came out, I wouldn't check it straight away. I probably wasn't listening to a project that, but I always knew him as someone who was talented and someone that always wore his heart on his sleeve. I noticed that.
I just remember he was like, when he done his, I think it was his first fight in the booth, and he screamed "Free Palestine" and the BBC censored it.
Oh,
And it's
did
like
they?
free, and they censored Mike Righteous screaming "Free Palestine."
He must have been very annoyed about
Very
that.
annoyed, fam. But like, and recently with the AJ Tracy beef, like, Mike Righteous isn't my kind of artist.
Yeah,
I wouldn't add
that's
him
fair.
to my playlist. But when he wrote those tweets, fam, like, I just froze, fam. I was like, raw, and I actually felt away about it, yeah. And I was saying to my bosses, like, at Boiler Room, I was like, bro, Mike Righteous has, like, topped himself, bro. This is fucked.
Can we just be clear here? Everybody that commits suicide doesn't always top themselves, you know.
Yeah, well, that's just the term.
Okay.
Like, yeah. Of course not. There's plenty
there's
of ways to
loads
do
of
it.
different
fam.
ways of
yeah,
doing it.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then I started having an inner battle with myself, yeah. I was thinking, bro, you know what? What if he faked this? Yeah. I started thinking like that. I was like, what if he done this as like a PR stunt? Yeah. But then I was like, nah, he ain't done that, bruv. This is serious. Like, you got people like Akala replying to the tweet. You got JK replying to the tweet. People are looking out for him. But you know what
Poet.
fucked it up even more? Yeah, Poet. His friend, who he grew up with, tweeted RIP Mike Righteous, fam.
That is crazy.
His friend that he grew up with. Like, they got childhood photos together. They got photos of them growing up, yeah? He tweeted Mike Righteous. Bro, that's like you tweeting RIP Poet. I have to take your word for it. You're best friends.
1,000,000%.
If Shorty tweeted RIP Jammer, I can't question that.
Of course not.
They're best friends. It has to be true. So when I've seen RIP Mike Righteous from his friend...
Was this on the same day that he said goodbye?
on his, yeah. On the same... Like, hours after. I was
Do you
like,
know
bro...
what? Can I just even say, that, like, that's odd anyway. Because,
Of course it's odd.
Like, even if let's
getting
say hypothetically speaking,
Yeah.
he actually did kill himself.
Yeah.
Like, and I know that I have to always remember, the world is made up of different colors, and if we all thought the same, it would be boring. Yeah, but like, I couldn't imagine me or any of my friends immediately just going online and saying R.I.P. Chucks. There'd be some type of grief going on for a bit.
But you'd write something. I don't know, like, but some people maybe, like,
it would maybe, like, if anything, it might be like, oh my God, like, like sometimes when someone dies or whatever, and they're someone close to them, like someone who's close to them has died, sometimes the shock usually, bearing it, I know that it's different, but it's usually like, oh my God, or I'm broken, I can't believe this, or do you get what I'm saying? It's not just straight,
well, different,
I just can't believe that this can't be real.
People are different, but someone did reply to that tweet saying, nah, this can't be true, please tell us more, you can't just write RIP and go. But let's rewind a bit. So when I was having this battle with myself, I was thinking like, all right, look, the game is the game. He could have done this to promote a track, and I'm thinking, nah, Mike Righteous would not do that, fam. That's the cuntiest thing you could do. That is disgusting. If you came out and done that, you're fucked. And that's why I had that battle with myself. I was like, nah, that's not true, fam. This is legit. Like, this is real. And then I see his brethren tweet RIP Mike Righteous. I'm like, so that's it.
Certified it.
We've lost Mike Righteous, And then, like, bro, I felt down that day, innit? I felt down. So anyway, so I was chatting to a couple, like, just people at work, colleagues, like, everyone knows Mike Righteous. We were just talking about it. Fam, I got a WhatsApp message from the producer of Gasworks. And all it was a Mike Righteous tweet, Bro, the next day he came out and put a link to a music video. Fam, I went on Twitter and I said, Mike Righteous is a cunt. And I was like, fam, I felt, oh my God. If you understood the anger, I was like, are you serious? Because, bro, I felt like betrayed, fam. Like, I was so fucked by the tweets he wrote, Like, I was like, bro, we've lost Mike Righteous. And then for him to come out and do that.
So I saw obviously the goodbye stuff, whatever, and I thought this is crazy. And I saw that JK was reaching out to him or whatever, and there was other people that was reaching out to him and stuff. And then someone then, like, I don't know, life went on. I just don't know what happened. Obviously I was feeling bad and stuff and whatever. But then I just remember someone tweeting me, telling me, make sure you talk about this Mike Righteous stuff on the podcast. So I was like, well, like, is it true? Then he was like, nah, well, he's just released a video. So then I thought in my head, so, like, there was all of these tweets and stuff like that, and then there was the goodbye, and then there was the video. Which then kind of went, because I just thought this was just mad. But I'm still trying to process this, because this is touching me differently, and I'll explain to you why it touched me differently, But, like, it went into, like, conversations with people that I was having on WhatsApp and that about, but, you know, it's got everyone speaking about it. So then, is it good promo? So I'm like, no. Like,
I want to come on to that,
I was like, it can't be good promo, because if his objective, let's just say, if his objective was to make people feel scared and whatever, and then for everyone afterwards now to start looking into mental health and stuff like that, he failed miserably. But if his objective was for people to think, this was my thinking at the time, if his objective was for people to think Mike Righteous is a stupid guy, then he definitely succeeded. But why would you do that at the expense of mental health? Now, I haven't finished yet, So I was thinking, why would he do that at the expense of mental health? Now, the problem that I had more so with everything is because if this was a promo thing, right now there's a lot of people that are going through some very serious things, and I have a friend who is, and the only reason why I'm going to talk about this is because I know that my friend is just not like even in the headspace to even watch this, but I got a friend that is going through like a very, like, I can't explain to you, bro, like it's crazy. And like, my friend is going through very, very serious depression, and I speak to my friend every day. I feel like an element of it weighs quite heavy, because when it's someone that you know for so many years, and you feel like that person feels like they don't have no one. They don't have no one to speak to. So they, like, the one or two people that they speak to, they like constantly battering it because they're scared. Like, it's not even a thing of they want to feel like this. They're scared. They're scared of themselves. They don't know what they're gonna do. They're going through a period where they don't want to live and all of that, yeah. So I'm having these conversations every day. I've been having these conversations nearly every day for 4 months, and this is the 3rd time. So this is not even like the first period. Like this has happened like other times in a friendship or whatever, yeah. So like it's like weighs heavy on me, yeah. So when I saw something like that, I was very angry because I'm like, people are genuinely really dying over stuff like this.
Can I tell
and
you
look
what's
at
worse?
the Childish Gambino thing.
Yeah.
You know, he had the video of This Is America and whatever. It was quite controversial. My whole thing is that if Childish Gambino, if he would have staged, let's say he would have staged him being shot by the police.
Yeah.
Let's say he pretended that happened, like the police officers shot him and killed him, yeah, which is a real thing that's happening in America, left, right, and center. Like black people are getting killed people are getting killed as well by the police, left, right, and center. If he would have done that only for him to promote a video, everyone would have thought he was just a dickhead.
Of course.
But what he did was he didn't do none of that. He just put the video out.
Yeah.
That would have been the better thing. That was my thinking at the time.
Well, obviously, Mike White just doesn't have the reach that Childish Gambino has. But I agree with you. But go back a bit, yeah? So you're talking about your friend and how he's dealing with mental health issues and why. Should I say what's even more fucked? The day after Mike Righteous's birthday, he had a funeral for one of his really close mates. And his close mate died because they committed suicide. So Mike Righteous had a close friend, best friend, that killed themselves. So this is someone that in his inner circle, and it was the day after his birthday, they had a funeral. And then for Mike Righteous to come out and do this the next month, I don't like when your own friend has been through that, and you've seen that firsthand, and you've seen the devastation that it can cause to the friends and family that has been left behind.
Yeah.
It's traumatizing, bro.
I watched the video, and when I watched the video,
but for that to happen to your best friend and then for you to go out and do that. But let me tell you something as well.
There's still more layers to it, though.
There's a lot more layers, bro. Because I'll tell you something, like, mental health is very complex. Like, when I wrote that tweet, Mike Righteous is a cunt, I was thinking, because he came out with an explanation video after it. He went on Instagram Live and he went he released a video on Twitter. Yeah. But, bro, when I watched that, I was very scared for him, innit? Because I was watching that video, I was like, you know what? He's going through something.
100%.
You can tell, you can see in the tone of his voice, you can see in his eyes, bro.
He's scared.
He's fallen victim to himself.
He's scared.
And he's very scared. He's like, bro, he's screaming at his phone for help.
Yeah. Do you know what do you know what? He was right. There was one thing that he did where he was right. And this was why I was very fortunate in the sense that, like, see, like when all of it happened fresh. If it happened fresh and we was recording that same day, I ain't gonna lie, I would have been tearing a man a new arsehole right now. Trust me, because I was raging, bro.
Bro,
I watched the video. I watched his first one, and when he said, I can't remember exactly how he said it, but he was like, oh, you know, people are saying that, like, I'm not going through this or whatever. Like, go back to my music. I have 8 years of music where I'm talking about all of this stuff. And I thought the moment that he said that, I thought to myself, I hear you, because although I don't check for you that much musically, the one thing, if you ask me prior to everything, like, tell me some stuff about Mike Righteous, I would tell you he's like a highly emotional guy who talks very passionate about,
which is amazing,
things that he's going through, which is very good. Like, he wears his emotions on his sleeve. You get what I'm saying? And he talks a lot about that. So when he said this, I realized that this is where a lot of that comes from.
And I get that. Like, he's someone who, like he said, has been screaming about his battle with mental health for 8 years. No one was helping him, so this was his final straw. Like, this was what he had to do to get people's attention. That's what he was saying in his Instagram Live. It's like, is this what it took? Is this what it took for you lot to come and show me? It's like, but that doesn't, bro. You've got fans, young fans that are probably battling their own mental health, fam. Again, it's a very complex issue, bro. It's a very, very complex issue, because there are a lot of people that are still, like, sticking up for him and backing him and saying that he'd done this for a right reason, that he did shine a light onto mental health. And it was controversial, but
I don't think he did, though. I don't think that he. Let
me be honest with you. Like, there's a lot of people that do mental health stuff. like they have a panel talk about mental health, or like Jamal Edwards, he went and done a huge mental health documentary for The Guardian.
I did an episode about depression, like some while back.
He like went Sheffield Doc Fest and stuff. Yeah, like everyone does stuff on mental health. But if anyone created the biggest bang for mental health this year, it was Mike Righteous, and it was very controversial. And he's got everyone talking about mental health, but he done that at the expense of the people that trusted him, his fans. He made people believe that he killed himself, bro.
Yeah.
Like, okay, this cloud, you know, it can have silver lining, and it can be, yeah, all right, now we're talking about mental health. But, bro, like, because, listen, if he came out the next day and done some SoundCloud thing, what he recorded on his phone, some, like, shit kind of poem or something, or, like, just a track that he put together a music video. The first thing that happened in that music video was, like, a big window smashing. That's some Hollywood shit, fam. You don't do that overnight. Posty, GRM, does not accept last-minute video submissions.
No, of course.
You have to get in there from early, bro.
By the way, do you think his brethren knew? So his brethren knew what he was doing.
Why would his
brethren put...
Bro, Chucky. Why would his brethren tweet R.I.P. Mike Righteous if he hasn't died?
Yeah, it's fucked, bro.
He had to be in part of it. Like...
Yeah, it's mad.
That is crazy, bro.
And like the thing is,
do you know what? When I watched the video anyway, I'll talk to you about that quickly. Is that like when I watched it, it gave a little bit of clarity in the sense that like clearly he does need help, but he's tried to seek help though. Yeah, and he echoed a lot of things that my friend mentions a lot, like talking about, you know, going to see all of these different types of people and them not really understanding or not really getting it's just not doing anything. Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying? He said that he'd had these voices in his head for like 16 years and stuff. And it's hard. Like when you're talking to somebody who is going through it, it's very difficult because you think that maybe you might have some type of answer. Yeah. And then you realize you don't have no answers. Exactly. And then you're trying to find the root cause of why this thing even started. And it's really difficult to find the root cause of why this whole thing started. And ultimately, regardless of your opinion or what you think that they should or shouldn't do, they're the ones that are really going through it and they feel it. Do you get me? And
I agree with that.
Where I was worried is that like when he did that, like the whole goodbye thing and stuff, you know that there's a lot of people out there who are going through depression that are very fragile, and that there are some people that feel like I'm never going to be able to get over this. I can't get over it. So if they see somebody that they admire or that they rate, realizing that they have the same thing as me, I've been going through it, and oh my God, like I rate you, and you've been going through this, and then you're going to commit suicide. Then in my head, or in someone who is very fragile, they might think to themselves, see, like, I'm never going to get out of it. They did it.
Well, this is a deeper question. It's like, you know, when people say, is committing suicide selfish? I think it's a deeper question here. It's like, there's always talk about why committing suicide is the most selfish thing you can do. You leave behind your kids, you leave behind your family, you leave behind everything. And it's kind of like, the thing is, if Mike Righteous did actually commit suicide, like, touch wood, but if Mike Righteous did actually commit suicide, there'll be all this talk. But when you're in that moment, when you've lost everything, like when you're fighting yourself, when you're battling that voice in your head, all you can think about is yourself.
Of course.
You get me? And you don't think about, like, even if...
No, but they do. Sometimes they think about their family, but they rationalize
themselves.
So what they do is they rationalize with thinking that if I do this, I don't become a burden on everyone else. Yeah,
right.
So it's like, you know what? Like,
but
I don't want to put everyone through this. Like, again, I'll go back to my friend. My friend already feels, you know what? Like, I've lost everyone. No one wants to talk to me. No one wants to hang with me anymore. And I'm calling you all the time. And I'm a burden. And I'm this. And I'm that. And I'm this. And I just don't want to be this anymore. And I don't want to. And so then, in their mind, they start thinking to themselves, well, do you know what? Like, I am now becoming a burden to you. Yeah. Like, you now think, they're genuinely thinking that I think that you're a problem. Like, you're a problem to my life now. Yeah. And I have to do it like that with everyone. So I'm going to do this for the greater good of everyone. Yeah. Yes, people are going to be upset and people are going to be emotional. But you know what? After a while, like everything will just be okay and maybe I'll be all right, but I just can't do it. And that's why for me personally, I know that there are conversations about where people say that suicide is selfish and stuff. I don't judge none of that because I don't know what that person is going through.
Bro, you can't.
Get me? And I know that I always use this example. And I know that it sounds...
Yeah, but this is why I feel bad even talking about this Mike Quatcher's thing. Like, it's because we don't know what he's going through.
Yeah. Of course not.
So we can't tell him how to behave. But I would argue that he is someone who is in a position of he's someone that is influential. So when you've got a young following like that, to fake a suicide is...
It does, again, though.
But then it goes back to the things like...
It does go back to rationalizing in your mind, though. Because again, for him, he might have actually have felt like, I've tried so many different things for people to wake up and pay attention to what I'm going through, and nobody understands. And I've gone to this person, I've gone to that therapist, I've gone to acupuncture, I've done this, that, that, and nothing's working. Nobody gets it, and no one's hearing me. So do you know what?
Fake your suicide.
I'm gonna do something that is gonna make people pay some type of attention. I'm not saying that I agree with it.
I don't agree
But what I'm
with it.
saying is,
But it's
like when you are going through something, it's very difficult to it's hard to say. Like, it's very difficult. And do you know what? This is what I was gonna say as well. Yeah, I use this example quite a lot, and I know that I'm not trying to make a joke out of it, but this was a life changer for me, and I bring this up a lot. Yeah, you remember the weed cake story I told you? The reason why I always bring this up here is because there's a reason why I brought this up, because firstly, I always thought that I was in control of my brain and my mind and stuff. Like, I always just thought that, like, you know, like when people just go mad, I just thought that shit could just never happen to me.
Shall I tell you something?
But when I did
think we have the exact same experience.
Fam, let me tell you, no, but there was one particular thing that happened here where, like, in my head, for a moment, I just was angry. Yeah. But there was still like a sane part of my brain that was like, this is not real. Like, it's okay. Like, everything's going to be okay. But in my head, all I know is right now, I just want to just kill someone. But then there's this other part in my brain that is telling me, fam, this is what it's like to be mentally ill, you know? And like, imagine being like this every day, all day. Like, I wouldn't be able to...
What?
So for me, if I was projecting anger towards you constantly on a constant basis, you can sit there and you can judge me for that, but you don't know what's going on in my head.
Yeah.
So imagine having to live... That's the only way that I can...
That's
really
a daily battle.
And that's why I use that for me to sympathise with someone, because I think when I went through that, I was in some serious shit. But I was lucky. Like, I only went through that for like a day.
Is that the weed cake that made you do that?
Yeah.
Shall I tell you something?
Like, fuck my shit up to bits.
Bro,
I'll tell you that
fam,
now.
this is a story that I've never really told anyone, innit? Because it's just... Like,
by the way, it's very different. I understand that. I'm just trying to...
It's very different, bro. And when I saw the video of Mike Righteous, like, almost crying, like, just explaining himself, I'm like, bro, like, it's clear that no one understands. Bro, you can just see, man.
You can tell by his
It's
voice,
not fake.
Yeah,
it's not fake.
He's scared.
But it's just very hard to justify faking your death.
Yeah.
And getting your friend involved. And, again, bro... That music video...
I could never do that. I mean, if
bro, that music video had a schedule date. You send that to GRM. Again, I'll say it again, fam. Posty doesn't accept last-minute submissions, fam. GRM's long.
Well, you might actually, I'm not saying you would, but I'm just saying, if you said, fam, do you know what, by the way, tomorrow I'm pretending to commit suicide.
We're saying London's calling.
Yeah, I'm pretending to commit suicide in that Posty. I got this video, yeah. The internet's going to go mad.
Yeah. But then,
would you pull it up?
But then Posty's
would you put it up?
But then Posty's
would
the
you
waste
put it
man.
up? Let me ask you that right now. Would you put it up?
I would.
If what?
If a man rang you right now and said to you, do you know what? I'm
suicide.
going to pretend to commit suicide.
Pretend. Oh.
Like, I'm going to do all of that online.
But
then I want a video to drop tomorrow. I've got the video right now. I'm going to retransfer that to you right now. Can you put that up for
Impossible.
me on GRM tomorrow
Impossible.
or on Savage?
But this is what I'm saying. Someone...
Would you slap that up? Oh my goodness.
I mean,
I just don't know.
You are getting good ad revenue.
I might not even get it at the time. I would be like,
oh, you might not know to the extent.
As in, I might be like, yeah, I'm gonna fake my death tomorrow, and then.
Yeah, you might think there's some sort of art to it.
Yeah, like I might not know.
Well,
Honestly, I would literally just be like, "What do
fair.
you mean you're gonna fake your death?"
I guess it just does. It does depend on who's calling you as well.
It's like, raw, what? So you're gonna fake your death,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get numbers in it.
How old is he? Google how old he is, please.
Mike Righteous.
It don't really matter. I mean,
But this is what I'm saying.
JRM
Like,
gets numbers
listen,
anyway, but as in,
well, it
just
didn't even
depends
really get numbers.
how
Like, man.
artsy
They didn't
you
really
see.
get numbers like that, to be fair.
Listen,
He's on 88 bags when I last
the thing
checked,
is, yeah,
which is like 4 video.
28. He's got a kid as well. But it's when, from start to finish, like, from start of this whole idea to the execution, like, for lack of a better word, execution's a bad thing to say, but yeah, to execution of this idea, like this is like someone should have said, bro, nah. Like someone
might have done
even
again,
when
though.
he hollered his
someone
friend,
might have done again, and I just think that again, I'm not excusing him or anything like that. I'm just saying, I'm just going back to the, like, you in your mind actually thinking that you're just genuinely just doing the right thing, and you're not doing the right thing. I think in your mind, you might have told people, a couple of people might have told you, bro, I don't know if that's a good idea. Yeah, people are going to be very worried for you. It seems like one of his brethren was like, yeah, cool, this is a sick idea.
Well, his close brethren tweeted RIP Mike Righteous. Yeah. And he came out with a name change. Like, there's so many levels to this, bro.
Oh, yeah, shit.
It's just, it's hard to even have this convo, innit?
It is, bro.
We like to think, we're thinking very rationally and thinking about this in the way that you can think about it after it's happened.
But when you're in his...
when
you are Mike Righteous...
Exactly.
In that,
it's just very... like
exactly. Which
we
is why
can come up with 1,000 different reasons as to why this shouldn't have happened.
Which is why, like, when I called him a cunt, I actually wrote an apology and put it on Twitter, but I deleted it, man, because I was like, nah, man, I can't agree with this. But I think, like...
It's just conflicted, isn't it? I'm conflicted.
Bro, I'm conflicted.
Because
the subject.
It's a conflicted subject, but do you know what it is? I know that he is in a not good place. And
this
I
is
know
what I'm
that
saying.
He is very delicate. Well, it seems like he's very delicate. And I hope that he is able to... the one thing that he did say, he made some really good, interesting points, by the way, the long video.
He did, bro.
Because he said, he was talking about, you know, he's got a support system.
Yeah.
And then he said, which raises another question for the people that don't have the support system and people who are tweeting this stuff on a daily basis and don't get, like, they genuinely...
But if he's saying he's got a support system and then he does that and then he goes back to... I don't know, bro. I get the angle. I get the angle. I think ultimately he's saying that, like, as shit as everything is, I have people that I can speak to and turn to that love me and that I love. But there are some people who just don't have Bro,
that.
if I was part of his support system and he done that, I would feel betrayed. When I come and sit down and talk to him about mental health, I don't know, bro. Like, you just went and faked your suicide and, like, am I a muck? I'm part of your support system. I've been here to help you. You've gone and done that, and then you're gonna come back.
Can I just say this though?
But again,
I understand that. I understand your point of view. But what I will say is as well is that, like, sometimes when people, like, I know that this is such an extreme thing because I ain't even seen anything much like this. But a lot of the time when these type of things occur, it just isn't about you. Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying? It's just everything about them. Do you get me? So it's like,
as much as
although you might feel like, you, like, they're portraying you. Yeah. It's not about you. It's just
in this conversation, like this conversation we're having today, we're talking about how we perceived it, how we how we felt. But at the end of the day, bro, it's about Mike Righteous, innit? Yeah. And right now, he doesn't look like he's in the same place.
I'd like to have a conversation with him,
bro. Well, a lot of people said, like, get him on Gasworks, get him on Gasworks. It's obviously the first thing people say, like, anything we talk about eyes. But, bro, like,
your thing is more like,
it's for banter team. We start off the conversation with, are you a Bocat? You know what I mean? It might not be the best time for him to come on right now. But also, bro, like, in all honesty, man,
we could do a special episode.
In all honesty, like, mental health is not a joke. Of course not. If we're gonna take anything from this, it should be just check on your brethrens. Like, fam, you see it a lot, like, man up.
You should. Do you know what you should do? This is what you should do. Like, because people always say, like, check on your brethren and stuff like that. But check on your brethren can come across very vague, because checking on your brethren can be like, yo, we saying, bro, how are you? Yeah, I'm fine. Right, what are you up to? I'm doing A, B, and C. What are you up to? Oh, I'm just in the studio with Dan doing blah, blah, blah. Yeah, what are you on tonight? Nothing, I'm chilling. What are you on tonight? I'm just going to go eat food with my friends. All right, cool, yeah, I'll shout you tomorrow. Yeah. But to me, when I say check on your brethren, I say, you ring your brethren, you say to your brethren, how are you, bro? Yeah, I'm fine. No, bro. How are you? Yeah. Like, how are you? Are you happy? Yeah. Like, what's going on? Like,
bro, I'll be honest with you, like,
You'll never like. You will be surprised.
You will be surprised.
You'll be surprised at like
a lot of people
what can come out of that conversation.
100%.
And that is like I had a conversation with
if
one
anything,
of my
that can
best
make you
friends.
closer, fam. Like,
1,000,000%. Do you know what? Yeah,
Well,
years ago, because I always say this. Like I had a period where I was in a not good place. Yeah, and I was here. It was in Lambert Grove actually, and I was eating in a Turkish place. Funny enough, yeah, and we were sitting down or whatever, and my mate said to me, like we was just chilling, and he goes to me, yeah, like how are you? Then I'm like, yeah, I'm good, innit? We speak every day.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, like cool, and he's like, no, how are you, bro? Like, how are you? Then at first, my first thought is like, wow, like man, them don't like.
Yeah,
you know, you're trying to get into my emotions.
Yeah,
bro. Like
that's
we
wet.
don't do this.
That's wet.
Yeah, like we don't do this. But he was like, no, don't just answer. Think about it, innit? Like, are you happy? Just think about it. So for a minute, I'm thinking to myself, my man's trying to like, you know what I mean? We're trying to moisten man up and that. Like, I'm not loving this. I'm not really loving this conversation. But then once I got past that ego bit, I started to just have a think.
Yeah.
And then as I was having a think, I was thinking, I don't know I don't know, like, you know, like it's just hard, isn't it? Like, am I really gonna sit here and do this? But you know what? It ended up being the best thing that I could have done.
It's
seriously.
So, you don't have them conversations often.
You don't have them. But it doesn't make you like.
That's
like
sometimes that's all
you
you
need, good
need,
on
bro.
moan sometimes at life.
100%. Sometimes you need to just say no because of X, Y, and Z, or you know, or whatever. I was very down.
A couple, like I think it was about a month and a half ago, I tweeted out like it was an insensitive kind of, wasn't even really like, but I was like, listen, good morning everyone. If anyone's having a shit day or feels down, I don't care. Love Alhan. I just put that on Twitter.
Right.
Yeah, and like it got retweets and likes and stuff. Then one brother must have replied to it. It's like,
no, I'm having a shit day, bro, and I don't love that.
No, not even that. But he DM'd me. He was like, why are you tweeting something so insensitive? I was like, bro, I can't lie, man. It's just me, fam. Like, I just say stuff to be controversial and whatever. We move on. But he's like, nah, but what you're saying is insensitive. I said, look, bro, if anyone ever DM'd me and like really saw me, like if they really thought I was the guy to come and chat to you about something like that, I would open up, bro. I'll chat to them about it. But I just wrote a tweet that's in like whatever. Anyway, then a couple weeks later, someone DM'd me, innit? And bro, like, my world just stopped. He said, like, he's like, I want to end it tonight in my DMs, fam. And then all this weight was on my shoulders. I was like, oh my God. And he's like, I'm sorry, I don't want to put you through this, fam. I've still got, I chat to the guy, but bro, every now and again I said, bro, So, like, I don't even know if, like, I'm sure, I'm obviously no names or whatever, but I just want to get the story out there, fam, because it's as simple as this. But he DM'd me, he was like, look, like Gasworks or whatever, like what you and Poet do, it just like it gives us happiness, man. But like right now I'm not feeling down, fam. I said, like, we spoke for a good hour or something that night, fam. And again, every now and again I check in with him, but it's literally as simple as that, fam. But when I was talking my girl as well, I was like, that it left me moved for days. Like someone would actually come into my DMs and share something like that. And that's why, like, I'm careful now when I write something insensitive and like or something.
It happens,
like
innit? At the beginning,
it's just banter,
you say
bro.
what you want to do.
But this is what I mean.
But I still like. I also think as well, that sometimes it is about having balance. Like,
it is.
I come here and I like, especially at the beginning of the podcast, I come here and I say wild stuff.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? And to be honest with you, when I say some of the wild stuff that I say, some of it's truth in jest, some of it I'm just joking or whatever. And whether someone thinks I'm being serious about that or not, or whether I'm body shaming, slut shaming, whatever it is, that's just on them. Like, that's cool.
Yeah.
I can accept that you might have got the wrong end of the stick or you misunderstand me or whatever. I don't really care about that. But also, I understand as well for not only just for my platform, but for me personally, that I have balance, so that I can sit down and I can we can be joking and we can say some stuff, but also on the other side of that, we can have a proper conversation.
Exactly.
And I tried to put that out there. If people get it, they get it. If they don't, they don't.
That's, bro, not everyone's made out of...
Nah, bro.
Balance is the key to life. It is just that simple.
And that was like, I started writing that letter. Remember I told you I started writing that letter. And the letter to myself, actually, the premise of it is about balance. Yeah. But yeah, I'll tweet it. When I do it,
you should, bro.
I'll tweet it.
You should.
That, like, but I wasn't even going to do that. I was just going to do it.
You know what you should do as well? This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to write a letter to my older self. And I'm not going to read it for 5 years or for 10 years or whatever it is. I just want to see what advice I'd give to that guy. Did I follow it?
Should I tell you something?
Who do I become?
I think that's like I think it was last year, like April last year. I had a big mental breakdown, fam. Like,
for real,
I just lost like control of everything, like anxiety, depression, all of it. And the thing is, like, I don't even know if it was depression or whatever, but all I know is like I was going through a lot. And even now, like, sometimes I joke about mental health or joke about anxiety or something like, yeah, everyone wants to be anxious or whatever. But to me, that's like sometimes like when I write an insensitive tweeting like, if anyone has a shit day, I don't care, love Alhan. To me, that's like a coping mechanism, fam. When I can laugh at my own problems and when I can joke about mental health or something like that. Like you see a lot of comedians that joke about depression and stuff. Sometimes that's a coping mechanism, man. It adds, like, that's part of the closure. That's part of, again, it's a very complex thing.
Laugh at my pain. That's what Kevin Hart said, isn't it?
But again, like, we can all act tough the minute we step out the house. But bro, like, I made.
You know what? I think acting tough is overrated.
It is overrated, man. But you can't, like, try saying that to the person acting tough, bro. The reason they're acting tough is like trauma or insecurity or something like.
Yeah, but sometimes that's not like that's not always acting tough. That is actually just a development, like a character development of maybe their surroundings or society, or whatever it is. Exactly. But yeah, no, I get the premise of it.
But like, people sometimes feel they have to put on a.
That's true.
A persona of a bad boy or whatever as a defense mechanism, like. I don't know, but again, this is complex. Going back to the Mike Coaches thing, I don't think what he done is excusable. I was quick to call him a cunt. Like, this is me personally talking. He ain't a cunt, man, but like, what happened was wrong. But this ain't about us. Like, the way people perceive that is whatever. I just hope that he finds peace in his inner self, man, because, like, it's fucked. But if we're gonna take, there's gonna be silver lining to this cloud, it's that chatting about mental health, checking up on your boys, whatever.
Definitely.
Like.